Hey everyone, it's Rod with the Pow Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth, your home for MJ stocks, crypto assets, and interviews. Also home to the best MJ community in the planet. Today is Monday, August 14th. Hope you're well, and I hope you had a great weekend. In this video, we're going to be discussing the stock SNDL. We're going to review their Q2 2023 earnings. They did miss in terms of analyst estimates, and there's also a golden cross that is on watch right now on the chart, so a major bullish technical pattern that we're going to be looking at here toward the end of the video. I've got all that and more for you here, but before we get to it, make sure to smash the like, help support me in the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe, tick the bell, and you'll be notified on any future live streams when I post a new video. Also, make sure to follow Pow Group over on X, which is formerly Twitter, and the handle is @GroupPow. So make sure to give @GroupPow a follow. That's where I'll be posting most of my real-time updates. That's going to be my platform of choice going forward. So we'll go through this here. By now, most people have already gone through the report, but I'll just go over some key highlights, my thoughts and opinions on this. Full disclosure, I do own SNDL stock. I am liking what I'm seeing. I wasn't really entirely sure what to expect when they acquired Alcana, but now we're finally starting to get a good picture of what this company is looking to do and some of the revenue growth and just some of the growth overall in the entire company. I think it's definitely stands out in the MJ industry, right? We know they're into liquor and retail alcohol as well. So they're very diversified, and there's not really anybody else in the MJ space that's doing what they're doing. So I do like the fact that they're differentiated and they kind of stand out with regards to their strategy and their operations. But like I said, full disclosure, I do own the stock. And this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. I'm giving you my thoughts and opinions. I'll never tell you what to do or buy, sell, or hold because I legally can't. I'm not a financial advisor. So make sure you do your own research and your own due diligence. But SNDL reports second quarter 2023 financial and operational results. And then all information in this press release is reported in millions of Canadian dollars unless otherwise indicated. So we'll go through some financial and operational highlights here. Net revenue for the quarter was $244.5 million compared to $223.7 million in the corresponding period of 2022, an increase of 9.3%. This marks an all-time high for the company, underscoring SNDL's strategic initiatives and operational enhancements, which have led to financial and operational improvements. And if we take a look at the earnings estimates, you can see here they were forecasting $259.4 million, and pretty big miss there at $244.5 million. And then also I went through and calculated the loss, so they did have a negative earnings per share. So you can see here earnings estimate, the EPS estimate was positive 0.01, and it actually came in at negative 0.1275. So they did have a loss for the quarter, which we'll discuss here in a moment, but they had a pretty big miss in terms of revenue and on EPS. So we'll go through this here. Liquor retail net revenue of $151.7 million. So obviously majority of their revenue coming from liquor retail. And that was an increase of 2.1% compared to the prior year. MJ retail net revenue of $71.9 million for the second quarter of 2023, an increase of 13.2% compared to the prior year. MJ operations net revenue of $20.9 million for the second quarter of 2023, an increase of 81% compared to the prior year. Record gross margin of $51.9 million in the second quarter, compared to $43.1 million in the quarter of 2022, 21% increase in gross margin year over year, driven by cost-saving measures, supply chain efficiencies, improved pricing strategies, and economies of scale and product mix optimization. So here's the net loss of $33.2 million for the second quarter of 2023. If you just take the $33.2 million and you divide that by the shares outstanding as per Yahoo Finance of 260.26 million, like I said, you'll get that EPS that I mentioned earlier, that negative, or what did I say it was? Just looking at negative 0.1275. So like I said, pretty big miss there in terms of EPS. But if you're wondering how to get that, you just take the net loss, which is $33.2 million, and divide it by the shares outstanding. And that goes for any company, right? If you're looking to get the EPS, earnings per share. So we'll go through this here. They had a $74 million net loss in the second quarter of 2022. The loss was driven by one-time events, including the Valens Company integration and related costs, as well as realized losses from equity investments. They had adjusted EBITDA of $2.2 million for the second quarter of 2023 compared to a loss of $25.9 million from the second quarter of 2022, reflecting an improvement in financial performance of SNDL's operating segments, along with synergies realized through the company's vertical integration strategies. During Q2 2023, a total of $8.8 million cash was used in operating activities compared to $17.9 million in the same quarter of last year, an improvement of 51%, showcasing the company's enhanced operational efficiency. SNDL currently has 5 credit exposures in the Sunstream portfolio following the monetization of a credit exposure in July 2023. The current portfolio includes 1 credit under a court-supervised receivership process and another in active restructuring negotiations. They have $754 million in unrestricted cash, marketable securities and investments, and no outstanding debt as of June 30th, 2023, resulting in net book value per share of $4.86 and $182.6 million of unrestricted cash at August 11, 2023. SNDL has not raised cash through share offerings since June 2021, so that's great to see. We'll scroll down here. There was a part that I wanted to go over here as a final part to this. They did have the conference call today at 10:30 a.m. Eastern time. I had a really busy day. I didn't join it, but if anybody did join, let me know your thoughts and opinions, any key takeaways that you had from that in the comment section below. But SNDL's strategy is predicted on the below key objectives. So generate positive cash flow from all operating segments by 2024, maximize the profitability and the sustainability of SNDL's liquor retail segment, establish a dominant multi-banner MJ retail platform for a national presence, and streamline SNDL's MJ production and drive profitable market share. So as you can see, they've got their hands into everything here. Again, I'm not going to go through this entire report and press release, just to breathe a sigh of relief here, but SNDL is Canada's largest private sector liquor retailer, operating 170 locations predominantly in Alberta, which is where I reside, under its 3 retail banners, Wine and Beyond, Liquor Depot, and Ace Liquor. And this is pretty much, they're everywhere, these Liquor Depots and Ace Liquor here in Alberta. But as you can see, they have their liquor retail, they have their MJ retail, they have their MJ operations and investments, right? So this is definitely a company that stands out from the rest. And that's why I think being diversified is key, right? We know that, Tilray is a branding company. They got their hands in alcohol, but more so like craft beer and spirits and things like that. And then MJ, and then they acquired Hexo, right? 100% MJ focused. Then you got your SNDLs of the world, right? And then you got, your Canopy Growth, but a lot of them differ greatly, right? And like I said, we don't see any other LPs really getting into liquor and retail. That's something that SNDL is kind of, is at the forefront of. So again, I think it's a good way to diversify into a portfolio, but again, not financial advice. Also, there was an SNDL Q2 2023 corporate presentation. So if you haven't seen this, I highly encourage you to go check it out. But 2,600 employees, 365 plus retail stores. And just go over this on your own time. I'm not going to go through it here in effort of time, but it's very well put together here. And it just gives you a real idea of what SNDL is looking to do and how they differentiate from their competitors. Like I said, there's no real competitor. There's not really any other company in Canada or in the US, as far as I'm aware, that are kind of going the route that SNDL is. And like I said, I think the strategies is definitely commendable. It's definitely, like I said, it's interesting. I wasn't too sure with the whole alcohol portion, but as we've been seeing here from their earnings, revenue has been ticking up, so 223, 230, 240, but then we saw a big decline there to 202 in May report, and then back to 244. So we're expecting 266 next quarter. So again, up and to the right has been what the revenue has been doing, but again, they did acquire Alcana, so it wasn't all organic. It was through mergers and acquisitions. But here you got their brand portfolio. So you got Wine and Beyond, Liquor Depot, Ace Liquor, you got Spirit Leaf, Superette, Value Buds. That's a big one here in Alberta. And Canna Cabana as well, your High Tides of the world. Whereas like High Tide is just only focused on MJ retail, right? They're not actually a producer, right? Or an operator. So that's some, again, it pays to be diversified. So they got some really great brands. And then, with the value segment with Value Buds, I think that's only going to continue to grow. And basically Value Buds and Canna Cabana have, I would say, like 90% of the market share here in Alberta, right? Because it's some cases it's 20-30% cheaper than the other stores. And it's just, in my opinion, they're going to dominate the retail industry. But if we take a look at the chart here on the daily time frame, we did close at the high of the day, and we have some resistance here at 167. That'll be the next resistance. After that, we have a lack of resistance until $1.98. We've got a massive bullish indicator flashing here as well, which I want to look at here in a moment. So just stay tuned for that. But taking a look here at the monthly time frame, we are close to starting the monthly bounce for the second month in a row. Again, if we break 167, we'll continue the monthly bounce for the second month in a row. And I mentioned VFF was another name that could see a monster move. And it was a year since we started the monthly bounce, meaning every single candle on the monthly time frame was a lower high. And then once we broke 68 cents, that was when the monthly bounce started, first time in a year. Even if you just entered there, you would have seen about 40% of upside. And now SNDL is looking very, very similar, where we could potentially go back to our EMA 12 here as resistance. So if you're looking for a swing trade, again, not financial advice, but you could enter with a break of $1.67 and then look to play even just EMA 12. You're looking at about a 26% of upside. And if we go back to EMA 26, you're looking at about 170% of upside. But realistically, if you're looking for a long-term investment, in my opinion, we were down over 96% there from February 2021 highs, right? So all MJ down 80, 90% plus from their February 2021 highs and all-time highs, right? So in my opinion, great time to load up for the long term. I've been buying over the last couple of months, and I did a video on my MJ portfolio. You can check that out. I do my top 5 holdings, and then I also break it down, my entire MJ portfolio breakdown with percentages. And SNDL was a recent ad of mine, and I'll more than likely look to add it a couple more times here as I'm starting to, like I said, really like what I'm seeing here and the revenue growth and just the growth from their overall business. But also something I want to mention here on the weekly time frame, we haven't seen a weekly bull cross of the EMA 12 and 26 period since the run up to February 2021 highs. Then we had a bear cross with the 12 period, the shorter term above the longer term. It crossed. And now we're seeing a potential not a golden cross, but I'll show that in a second. But we're getting close to another EMA 12 and 26 bull cross, which, like I said, the last time that happened was back in the beginning of 2021. So now we're seeing this even more beaten down. And we could see a monster move coming for SNDL into the fall. And like I said, I think we could get HHS reviewal. We could get Schedule 3 or beyond. I think Schedule 3 is the most likely, and that will solve 280E. We could even get safe banking into the fall as well. Not putting much emphasis behind that. I think the most likely scenario is Schedule 3. But then we could even get legalization of medical in the U.S. over the next year or two. And then Germany set to potentially enact legislation this week. And then into the end of the year and into 2024, there's so many catalysts. MJ Act being reviewed here in Canada, but these charts are looking raring to go. They're just, everything is primed right now. If we take a look at the weekly time frame here, we're above the 10-week moving average. We're starting to go parabolic here and on the stochastic and the MACD. Take a look at Tilray. Tilray got above its 10-week moving average, started to curl in a hurry, and look how parabolic and blasting off into space the stochastic and the MACD, right? So if SNDL just follows something similar like Tilray, then we could easily, like I said, make our way back up to that $2 and beyond, maybe even $2.50. And if we take a look at our weekly moving averages here, we do have the 50 weekly there at 193, and we have the 200-day moving average there at 186. So a lot of names are getting back to their 50 weekly moving averages. You can see here Tilray poked above it. So if SNDL were to do the same, we get around $1.93, and then back test its 200-day moving average at 186. If we take a look at Tilray did the same thing as well. It actually got above its 200-day moving average. So if Tilray can do it, leader in the space, that's what we want to see. But we need to see monthly uptrends across the sector to be confident the bottom is in, and we're just nowhere near that yet. We're starting the monthly bounce, but we still need a higher low and a higher high. And then once we have monthly uptrends across the sector, not just in SNDL, but across the sector, then we'll be confident that a bottom is in. But if we can get over 193 and that 200-day moving average there at 186, we've got some runway there until the 100 weekly at 350. And then, like I said, taking a look here at the daily time frame, take a look at this golden cross that's forming. So the last time this happened was, again, in the beginning of 2021, where price at the low there went from about $1.50-ish all the way up to about $40, right? And then we had the death cross with the 50-day moving average, the shorter term above the 200-day. When they cross, that's a death cross on the daily time frame. Price went from about $7-8 all the way down to low dollar, right? So now we're seeing another golden cross lining up here into the fall, and SNDL very, very close. The 50-day sitting at 145 and the 200-day at 186. So this is a name that we could potentially see a golden cross over the next several weeks, couple of months, in my opinion. And if we do see that, we could easily see a monster move, just like we did back here on hopes of, the U.S. legalizing, and that's when the Dems took control of the Senate. That was just on hopes of legalization or progress in terms of reform in the U.S. And imagine what's going to happen if we actually get some sort of reform or rescheduling to Schedule 3 solves 280E. Safe banking would be great, but that doesn't solve 280E tax burden. So I think that's the most likely scenario, and the thing that I would like to see happen the most would be rescheduled to Schedule 3 or higher, or even descheduling, right? Treat it the same as alcohol and tobacco. As we know, those are poison, and MJ is medicine, right? It's the medicine of the future, but I'm here for it. I'm happy to be alive and experiencing all this with you. But going into there, Going to be, like I said, watching golden crosses across the sector and watching for monthly uptrends across the sector as well to be confident that the bear market is over and that we're potentially starting a new multi-year bull market. But let me know what you think of these new earnings. Do you hold SNDL in your portfolio? Are you looking to add? Always love hearing from you. We'll continue the conversation in the comment section below. Again, if you were on that earnings call, let me know your key takeaways on the call, and then let me know in the comment section below. Going to end it there, though, it's Rob with Power Group. Thanks again for joining us on the Pursuit of Wealth. Hope you have a fantastic evening, and we'll see you in the next video.